See what I can do. Okay, give me a second. Give me share application. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, good. Bear with me 1 second. Just ran home from the airport. Dude, where'd my thing go? Okay, can someone send me a quick chat? Make sure my window's open. Okay, hey there. Okay, good. Got that piece up and going. Okay, perfect. All right. So, just some quick chatter. Did everyone get the file, my flash file that Sarah sent around? Okay, so Marianne, so what version of Flash are you using? That's probably the reason why. The Flash we're using is CS 5 point. That's why. CS3, oh man, maybe that was calling me. Just bear with me for 1 second. So the reason why is you need CS3 for, pop me a quick email right now and I'll pop you out, see if I can go backwards. Ooh, 1 second, people are being kicked out. Yes. I'll try to send this some lower formats. I'll make sure if everyone is in the conference here. Participants, let me see who's here. Oh, we got 9 attendees. Let me see who we're missing here. So I spoke to OU, and we'll do a few more classes because I'm just getting used to how this stuff works. Teaching over online. So we're gonna change the format a little bit. We're gonna have it such that I'll be showing you how to do it online. Like I'll take my time and you watch. Don't do it yourselves because switching back and forth to your stuff in the video, you're going to miss something, and that's something for you to do on your own. So let's just focus on getting a class done. I'll just sort of dictate what to do on the screen. I'll be very patient with it. So you could get in there, and after each 3-4 set of each after 3-4 sets, I'll like pause and see any questions. So I'll get that. So, okay, good. Okay, so we got feedback. I agree. I played the record session and it was a snap. Okay, so we had one person who sent me something and said they're having an error with something. I wasn't really sure. Speak up now. So we're going to address that quickly before we start. Okay, let me launch my Flash. Okay, good. He's in now. So just a little yes or no. Did everyone catch out with what we were doing from last week? Everyone get sort of understand that? What's going on? Okay, good. Just give me some feedback. Open recent skateboard dude. Okay, so the one thing I did add that we didn't discuss was I added a oh, you guys can't see it. Okay, so I'm just gonna break the code out for a second. So let me just get this code out in front on my screen here, and then we could just blow it up. So Joel, hold on. You think I mouse bigger? Control panel. Mouse. There you go. Pointers. Make that bigger. Oh, I see. Here we go. Black. Let's make that bigger black. Okay, how's this one apply? Is that better? Okay, so I sent you the file, but this is pretty much what the key pieces are. To review on line 4, we're adding a event listener to the stage to listen for a keyboard event. When I press a key, I'm going to add to this stage. That stage is the main container of the movie. I'm going to add a keyboard event. When I press the key down, it's an event's it's actually going to be triggered. And so I'm going to call the function jump, which if you remember from our making the video, we actually made a very simple animation to jump. So just to quickly show you what that means. So I click on him with my arrow. So I click on him, and I do a right mouse button. Right mouse button, I can say edit in place, or edit new window. So once I have on my arrow, my selector, in order to edit the symbol, the movie clip, I can edit him, edit in place, meaning when I say edit in place, it'll edit and you'll see all the full background, or edit in a new window. So let's just do edit in place to show what that means. So I scroll to edit in place, and now you'll see from the timeline, I actually have, this is my symbol there that we have, and then you see the orange box in the background. And so we made a very quick classic tween, it's called, where we want to do some animation. So he goes up, and then we go down, and then we go backwards. So in the movie, over here, if you see on the bottom of the screen, I actually put a stop on the first frame. So it won't play when the movie starts. It will stop. And so what will happen is that What will happen is that when my keyboard event goes down on a jump, that function will be called, and I'll say MC-Dude play. That's what's going to happen. Now, key thing to recognize is that MC-Dude, under properties, if you see by my instance name, is that movie clip, instance of the movie clip is called MC-Dude. It's like an object, so we have to name the object so we can call it in the action script. And so let me go back to code and I say mcdude.play. It will then play it, and then it will play. Just let me get the code up. It will then. Sorry, I'm going too fast. So here I've edited, not edit in place. I did a straight edit, and you see on the timeline I have a code layer and I have a layer 1 layer. And so here, all we did was we took the graphic that was there, we turned to a symbol, and then we did a tween to it, so it will jump. Did everyone from last class understand how we did the tween? Does anyone need to know how to do that again? We can do that very quickly again, because that's a very important concept of taking a graphic, convert it to a symbol, insert keyframe, and then move one of the keyframes. Okay, got one go over, please, so we'll do that. So we're going to do that in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to our mouse. We're going to go to layer 1, and then we're going to hide it. So when I clicked on layer 1, I put an X over the I. That layer 1 is gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to click on the layer 1. I'm going to say insert layer. Key thing, insert layer. Insert layer, click on insert layer. So now I have layer 2. And now what I'm going to do is in cell 1, I'm going to create something around. So I go to frame 1 and I click on the box area, little box in my tools, on the oval tool. Or if I had a picture, I can actually drag a JPEG from my wherever, BMP, JPEG, whatever, and drop it into here, and it'll become an image. So the same thing as drawing something on a screen and doing that. So FYI, when you drag pictures or images onto the screen, they don't scale. Like you can't make them bigger or smaller because there's a set limited size to JPEGs or BMPs, or window type files, any type of file. That's different than a vectorized graphic, which is when we use an application like Fireworks or Adobe Illustrator. When you make graphics there, they get larger and smaller. So you have to know when you're doing a website the size of the graphics you're working on. Because in ActionScript, the code you can actually scale up the size by just saying symbol.scale x scale y equals 200%, and it'll blow it up at 200%. Or you can do a tween for size as well. So we can do that as well. With that. So we'll take an oval right over here. That's gray. Now, once I make the oval on the screen, I'm going to go to my selection tool, which is the first tool, the little arrow dude. I click on that selection tool. And I'm going to select the circle. I'm going to select the circle. When I select the circle, the whole circle, I'm going to convert that to a symbol. So I'm going to select the whole thing and then say convert the symbol. So the symbols are the main animation pieces, is like the most important things in Flash. So I'm going to go convert the symbol. It's going to pop up the symbol, and I'm going to say ball. And I'm going to make it a movie clip. So there's three kinds of symbols: movie clip, button, and graphic. A movie clip you can do anything with. A button is a regular push button, and a graphic is a symbol as well, but you can only do a limited number of animation or things with a graphic. Always make things a movie clip. And then what's left on it is what I call registration point. That is a point where when you set it on the screen, like you say, symbol.x, symbol.y, it would be referenced to where that point's at. So in a circle, it would actually be in the middle, to make that in the middle. So click OK, called ball. Now, key thing over here is that, look where my mouse is pointing, the properties. Once I have that selected, if you want to access that ball in your action script, you have to give it an instance name. MC ball. Whatever you like. So what we're going to do is take this ball, right? So we got this ball. So I'm going to select the ball, my selector. And then what I can do is I'm going to select frame 35. I'm going to select the ball, but you can select on frame 35. See, I clicked in frame 35 on layer 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a right mouse button click in that frame. And I'm going to say insert keyframe there. And then what's it going to do? It is going to make me a copy of the ball right there. So whatever's in frame 1, first frame, it will put that frame right there. So I'm going to say insert keyframe. Right there. You see that's still there. And then I'm going to go to frame 60. Click in frame 60, and I'm going to say insert keyframe. You'll see it turns blue from my screen and say insert keyframe. And it will put a ball right there as well. Now, good thing about this stuff is that in each frame we see a little black box on my screen. That's a copy of the ball. So what you do is you take the ball in frame 35. Since you've got your selection tool on, is blue, is you move the ball up an inch or two. Like this. So I actually have my mouse on the ball and I moved it up. I moved to the side a little bit. So I moved it up an inch or two and I drop it. And then notice I go back to frame 1 over here. I go back to frame 1 and I say classic tween. I click on classic tween, and it then does all the interpolation of that point piece over here. Now watch what I can do. Now I'm in frame 35. Watch what I can do. I can make my ball a little smaller. So I'm going to click on that ball in frame 35. I'm going to click on the free transform tool. It's over here. I'll click on the free transform tool. And you'll see some things around there. And so briefly, key thing to notice is that on the free transform tool, scaling in terms of scales to X and Y perfectly. So as if you look in the property section on the scale thing, you'll see this little lock. You'll see when I put my mouse over there, it says lock width and height values together. If it's clicked on when you scale, when you grab one of the handles of the box, it will scale accordingly. But if you don't do that, it will just scale one dimension more than the other. So I'm going to scale it. I'll make it larger. There you go. So I made the ball larger there. And now what's going to happen? It actually fills in all that nice animation. And then I'm in frame 35, and now watch this. I'm going to go to frame 35. I'm going to click in there and say, create classic tween again. And what's going to happen when I make my classic train go through at 60, it actually gets smaller and goes back down. But at the same time, I'll move my frame 60 over here. So I just move my ball in frame 60 over there, and Flash will do all the hard work, and it will interpolate everything for you. So if I just, if I want to test this scene out, this is layer 2 scene, I go to Control, Test Scene. I may not work because we have a stop in there, so hold on, we have to see something. Yeah, we can't do that. But what we can do is, so when following me, is that in this scene right now, Control on the PC. I'm using a Mac sort of, so it's not that simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the stop over here from the first code frame, so it's going to keep on doing crazy things. So I'm going to what's the key for the PC? Control for what? To launch it? That's a good question. To launch it. So I think it's, for the PC, it's Control Test Scene. Control Enter. I could have switched between Flash versions, so that's a big issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out that line in frame 1 of code layer. I'm going to comment out stop. So what's going to happen, the movie's going to keep on playing and playing and playing like sort of last time. So, and if you look at layer 2 over here, layer 2 goes much longer than my layer 1 of the guy. So if I was just moving, so let me just put my guy back on there. If I was moving, like what's happening, I move my guy, it's pretty funky. See, look at that. Oh, I'm going way too fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go launch the movie right now. Control, Test Movie, and we'll see it. So what we did was we made a ball, turned it into a symbol, inserted in different places on a timeline, and made the ball bigger and then smaller. There. So there you go. So we're going to go back in the code layer there. We're going to move the stop over there. So stop goes back. And then we're going to delete layer 2, which is our ball over there. So just so you're going to click on layer 2 and click on delete layer in layer 2. And you're back to where we're at again. Now, key thing to note, library. Okay, so just a very quick intro very quickly how it's done again. I make a new layer, draw a graphic, convert to symbol, and automatically when you draw something in a new layer, it will put it on frame 1, and then you click on another frame, insert keyframe in layer 20, and then you go to another frame in frame 50. Can you put more than one symbol on frame 1? Sure. Put as many symbols you want to. Yes, you can. You can put more than one layer. So let's just focus on some questions over here. Is that right now, let me go to my library, which I wanted to say. Now your library is everything you put inside your FLA, your Flash file. So they're always going to be there. If you drop a graphic in your screen, it's going to be in the library. When you convert that graphic to a symbol, it's in the library as well. So since I deleted the layer, I still made my ball. So what I'll do is I'll take my ball, I'll drag and drop my ball on layer 1. I'm sure my 14-year-old son would appreciate that. Take the ball and I put it right in right in frame 1. Now you'll notice when that happens is that my tweening got disappeared. So what you have to do is you have to remove the tween and then put the tween back again for that particular man over there. So that's what happened. So what you do is you just put the screen back. But you see how it brought it together. Best thing to do is that when you do under programming, make separate layers for all your tween animation. Then it won't never get confused because you have to worry about within layer one what happens with the other one. And it's also easier for Flash too as well to recognize that as being another layer. And you see when you're doing really nice graphics, that layer becomes it's very important because you can turn off a layer, turn off a piece, and do some fine detailed graphics. So I'm gonna go Control Z, get rid of it for a second, and go back to where we're at here. There you go. Okay. So we're back to square one again. So here we are. Quick note on navigation, that on the upper left-hand corner, scene 1, dude 1, is that we have different scenes. Like in a movie, we have different scenes, and we're going to use the scene as a way to, when the game quits, it'll go to the next scene to display if you know what your score was, to lost, to play again. So a scene is entirely a new timeline. And just like in any movie you have different scenes in the movie. It's like I saw Harry Potter. One scene was in the castle, one scene was in the forest, etc. So a scene is a whole new timeline. And so you can actually tell it to go to the next scene in code as well. So we'll do that. You can tell, on the timeline to go to the next scene as well. And so we can do that also from the upper right-hand corner called scene 1. We can click on the little movie take guy. Take 1, scene 1, that stuff from the movies. And then symbols. You can go to different symbols here from, edit symbols in the library very, very quickly. So right now, we're going to go to scene 1. So back to our scene 1 over here. And so to refresh you is that we're going to then register in line 5 an event listener called enter frame, called game loop. That's like the main loop in the game. And so what that does, enter frame, let me just move over to the side here. What that does is that simulates the movie going into frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. It keeps on going in loops into frames, like more on the program layer. So in other words, when you first walk into a movie in Flash, stage different frames. But here we're telling the main container stage to enter a frame and keep on looping in a frame. But that frame is more of a virtual layer and frame. So we'll just keep on going in loops. And if we did have a timeline with frames, let's say for example we had a layer with, like in the quickly, I'm switching to our dude movie clip. We have a layer with frames in here, frame 1 through frame 25. We could actually say enter frame from this movie and stop in a certain frame. So we can say, enter frame in this movie, and it will actually just play that timeline. So it's the same thing as hitting play as enter frame. Let me go back here. So here we said enter frame. So enter frame starts the game loop over here, function game loop. And I'm going to set the speed over here to 20. And so that's, when I say speed, that's actually the location of the ball. So I'm going to keep on subtracting the X coordinate from MC box, which is the orange box over here. Hold on. So I get the X coordinate from the box, and I keep on subtracting 20 from it until it's actually less than 100, meaning that the X coordinate is off the location of the stage. When that happens, I reset the X coordinate back to 1025, And what I do is I call a function called random number, and I give it between 10 and 30. So it gives me so every time the ball will move, it, let's say ball moving at different speeds. So we're trying to, simulate, different ball speeds by just moving it, quicker or slower. So, and there's a pretty known function, random number over here. In brief, when you don't know nothing, Google. So you can say, Google random number between, Google give me a random number between 1 and 10. It'll give you a Java function, a VBA function, and just got to apply the right syntax over here. So here, math.round, math random, time minus low plus low. That's in general how you do a range your random number. And it'll just keep on doing that. So I set the speed back, and then once it breaks out of the loop, it'll then keep on going back in the game loop. And as we saw in the ones that you have, what I'll do is I'll launch it over here. And we'll say control, we'll say test movie, and watch what will happen. Now when I click on the thing over here, I click on my button, it'll keep on jumping, and you see the ball go faster and slower, etc. So what we're going to do next is we are going to sort of program. We're actually going to put. One second, where am I here? Where's my notes? And so we are going to deal with when you crash into a box and keeping track of your health here as well. So close this box down. Any more questions before I go to the next piece? All right, hit me. Okay, so a question I was in classic tween and motion tween. So in brief, the difference between the classic tweens is what caused them to jump? Okay, so two questions, classic tween and motion tween. A motion tween is you can change the motion of the symbol, and in classic tween, you can also change the motion of the symbol, but it actually, let me show you quickly. So classic tween and motion tween, let me just show you very quickly something. And the next question was what caused them to jump, and I'll tell you in a second. So let's actually go. I'm going to click on the symbol, dude. You see I clicked on that symbol, and I'm going to say edit, or edit in place. Edit. And so once I have them here, is that so if you look on the properties, what you can do is, let me find something for you guys. Okay, now here, what makes them jump is that we took a symbol, and then we created another symbol over here, but we moved them up. See what's happening over here? See over here? Like I have my symbol here, and then we said insert keyframe. It put the symbol in the next box. We did insert keyframe, and then we just move the dude up. And when I move the dude up, I say insert classic tween, and it automatically goes up because that's where I moved my symbol to. And then what I did was I inserted another classic, keyframe there, and then I say insert classic tween, and then made him come down like that. So that's how he jumped. Sorry, I misinterpreted the question. What made him jump? Yes, so what made him jump was, what made a jump is that this particular function stays that event listener keyboard event key down. When I click any key down, the jump function will be called over here. The jump function will get called, and it'll call MC Dude play. So MC Dude is our movie clip called Dude, which is the guy over here, which is the guy that I'm clicking on, and it will say play his timeline. Now, when I say play his timeline, is that if we, let me just go into him for a second. So his timeline is right over here, his timeline over here, and so the current frame is on stop over here. So when I click on frame, it will then go from 1, 2, 3. It will then start moving very slow. It will then move at its frames per second and come down and then go back to frame 0 and it will stop again. So that's what happens. So currently, when the movie starts, all movie clips in this situation, we have a movie clip, we have a symbol movie clip in frame 0. So when the movie starts, it's going to go into that frame as well. So you can look at frame as a game playing is multi-threaded. A lot of things are happening and going on. So what's happening is that when you first go into the movie in frame 0, it will stop there, and then when you tell it to play, it will then keep on playing. What makes it come back down? It actually, since the whole movie clip is playing, that it will come back down. So the second part of the animation is him coming down. So we just had another symbol there. Okay, so motion scenes are different. Let's just do that. Oh, wrong button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say remove tween. So we're going to remove the tween. We're going to click in frame 1 and we say remove tween. So now, if you look what's happening over here, that we have number blue line arrow, and now when I click in that frame, we have them going up. So if I say create motion tween, click there. Now the issue is the reason why it created a new layer is because it didn't have another symbol to actually work with over there. So we'd have to put another symbol there. Let me do this over here. Hold on. Let me get rid of the other. Remove tweens from that one too. Okay. So now from layer 1, what happened is, if you go to look what happened. So all the tweens gone. So when I go to frame 1, when I go to frame whatever 13, it goes up, and I go to frame 25, it comes down. I really have nothing. So if I say insert motion tween, now with motion tween, it's very interesting. Now, if you click on motion editor, so motion editor, if you guys, does everyone see the motion editor over here? You can change the motion of what's going on. You can move the X, Y, and Z with an easing function. You can rotation, transform them, scale it, and do a lot of different things as a per frame animation. So in other words, if you were doing wheels to rotate, that would actually be a motion tween. So just to show you something in the properties editor, over here as well, in the properties editor, we have some basic things about a motion tween here that we could use. We have a rotation, counterclockwise or clockwise or counterclockwise, and a rotation how many times, how many degrees, along a certain path, sync with graphic symbols, and then think of the easing function. An easing function is something that, easing function is, what's my train of thought here? An easing function is a function which actually controls the actual speed of how quick that animation is going to happen. And so, we're actually going to use easing motion editor in one of the next ones as well. So I can give you a better detail on that. But this is a little more motion we don't have to go to the motion editor here ever, but we can make a wheel to go rotate very easily. So let's just go back. And so a classic tween could do more. There's a lot of different things. It could change the shape of something. It can do animation, change the shape. But with motion tween, you can get some pretty detailed types of animation. You can actually have the symbol go along a certain path, even follow a certain path very easily, like a plane flying. So you can control that path and the speed as well. So just converting it to a symbol. You said the graphic is limited movie clip. When would it be advantage to use graphic over movie clip? Okay, so that's actually a pretty good question. I want to address that right now. But in terms of when you get into a lot of different animation, you need to do a lot of high-speed animation, etc. A movie clip requires much more background processing than a graphic, and in other words, there's not much processing power on your web page would require a graphic, and a graphic you can do a motion tween to it, not a classic tween or something like that. But that's again pretty once you want to make a really detailed game, you have to really think about how things sort of work together. When you have maybe 10 or 20 different motion clips on the screen, and some are animated by changing shape. Like for example, you have a gun shooting game, and you want to blow the guy up. Or you want something to change a very quick scene. Those things require a lot of processing power on the actual web page, and so by telling Flash, it's a graphic symbol versus a movie clip, it can actually renders it very differently. So, and that's just that's like the next level type of thing. But it's also a very important thing is that Flash keeps this all in mind. So just to let you know something, that if you click on the stage and you go document properties, or on the properties page, so document properties, or you click if you look in the properties panel, the little wrench, here you click on document properties, you'll see over there, it's actually not here, no, that's the wrong properties. So if I click on this property, little wrench, it's not there, wrong one, sorry. I click in the publish settings, file publish settings, over there, in the Flash area, under the advanced settings. They moved that stuff too, didn't they? Oh yeah, sorry. If you look at the bottom under hardware acceleration, you'll see, so Flash will be optimized to run on different types of hardware. If you have a video card or something like that. So think about it. So when you get into very, very, you want to detail, you want to make a game that's a real-time game, you can set these levels of directing GPU. And so, this is more of a, advanced topic. And then when you really get into advanced topics, is you can change the actual frame rate. Over there. So you can actually set the frame rate to different frames. So I got 24 frames per second. You can make them faster or slower based on what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards. Put that back there. So, but I do encourage people to go and read about this and play. It's actually very important to play. So you have my original clip, you have my original movies, and you can just play with things. And then Google for some explanation that can tell you things. Sometimes if I tell you something, it may be wrong because I may have forgot it, so you can Google and probably get the right answer. Whatever. That's where we're at right now. Okay, so we're all good? So if people don't understand the code for the random number, that's how you actually generate a random number between a range of numbers. So it's the same way they do, when you do Mega Millions and they draw a lottery. It's a random process. The computer generates random numbers, and if you're You know, if your Mega Million masters those random numbers, you can probably stop taking the course. But same principle. We're using a random number generator to pick a number between 10 and 30. And so, you know, based on the larger number, the box will go faster on the screen. We're all good? Any questions? All right. Let's go back to the scene 1. I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner under scene 1. It says due to, I'm going to click on scene, and now we're back in the main animation. Let me just play it to make sure that everything works. Let me do a quick. Okay, so I'm just testing it out, make sure it works. Now, see how the it's probably difficult on your side, but what's happening is you see the ball moving faster or slower, and that's based on the random number. Sometimes so much faster now. It's going to go a little slower. So it's, you know, the larger the x, the larger the speed number, is that the more it's going to keep on going on the x-axis. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to start now. So we're going to add a layer right now. Under box, we're going to say insert layer. And what we're going to do is we're going to add we're actually going to add a feedback called health there. Like when you play movies, you get shot or something, you know, you get health. And so the same concept of every time the box hits you, your health is going to get weaker and weaker. So you're going to get weaker and weaker. So we're going to name that layer, call it info. And here we're going to put up, we're going to take a text box, which is in your tools over here where my pointer is at. You'll see it's called text tool. And we're going to put that text box in the upper right-hand corner. So I click on that text box over here, and I'm going to make, hold on, that's not a good place. Hold on. Ah, here we go. Hold on, I got to make my screen a little different here. Move that puppy down. Okay, let me click on the text box again. And I'm going to click them over here. Why is that doing that? So here, I'm going to see a text box over here. So I'm going to create my text box. Bear with me for a second. I think something's wrong with my flash. Hold on. So once I go to there and that scene over here, I'm going to switch, like under text engine, I'm going to say classic text is fine. And I'm going to put on dynamic text so we can actually change the value of that. And then we're going to name that called we'll call it TXT for text, and we'll call it health. You always have to give something a instant name to actually reference it through the action script. So you got that over here. Just gonna move it over here. At the same time, you can see we can change the different fonts over here as well, like the character fonts, Comic Sans, bold, color, paragraph options. It's actually pretty expensive. So now it's called text.health. So we're going to go to the action script part of it. Let me just get my action script here. Over here, and then we're going to create a variable. So let's push this up a little bit. We're actually going to create a variable on top over here. We'll call var Come on, health. It's an integer. And we'll say that's, I guess we'll give them 20. So look at number 20. Over there, health equals 20. And then we're going to say, watch this. We're going to make him, we're going to say text.health. Did I spell that right? Dot text is equal to health, which is our variable, integer variable, dot, if you see something pops up, you'll say two strings. And it's a function of all the variables. So what we're saying over here is that create a variable called health. So what we're going to do is I'm going to insert that that number inside the text box, text.health. So if we were to run the movie very quickly, control, test movie, test. Look at that. Now, some of you may see this error over here. What's going to happen over here? Let's look at this output error over here. So 20, blah, blah, blah. Font should be embedded for any text that may be edited at runtime other than the text for use device settings. Use text font embedding command, embed fonts. Now, it's a more advanced topic, but what's happening is when your Flash clip gets loaded up inside the client-side browser, it's going to look at what fonts are available to use. It's like I don't know if you guys did any type of HTML program. If you specify a font name and it's not in your browser, it's not going to display it. We have to use one of the default fonts over here as well. So Flash as well does the same thing. But you can tell it to use a device font from the Flash runtime. Or what you can do is actually you can add a font that you want to use to the library and then reference that as well. But you're more than fine that whatever font on the screen will still work. So we're fine with that. That's just a warning. You don't have to worry about that. So let's go back to the timeline and say here's that. We can probably make the box a little smaller for 20. There. Another thing we can do on the info screen is we can make another box over there. Let's just make another box. Let's move it right next to it. And this time, we'll call it health. It's huge. Let's make that a little smaller. So once I click there, and I can make it a smaller size. Let's make it 37. And here, I'm going to call it static text, not dynamic text, because it's not changing for the whole period of the game. Static text, and I'll put it right next to the guy over here. It's all right if it overlaps a little bit with the box over there. You don't have to worry about that. And if you don't like the gray color there, we can change the color to royal blue. And we can change this guy to red. So if you want to change the font stuff, see what it says embed. And here we can actually embed. We can embed the different fonts here. We'll talk about that another time. So let's take a little break here for a minute. Okay, I'm back. Question was, I could have done that. So someone says, why not create a dynamic text to concatenating the number of health with the word health there. This way we have less objects to deal with. Yes, we could have done as follows. Let me show you what Joel said. We could have done this. So as I like to keep different objects on the screen, but we could also, instead of making a new object like static text like that, we could have went to the code here. Where's my code? And I could have said what Joel said is you can create a health, which is probably a little cleaner way of doing that, like that. So that's what one of our people know I says. It's a very, good idea. And so this will make us text. I just like to keep objects around to show you all the different type of ways we can do things. So watch this. Now since our box is much smaller, so let's just save it. Control S. Let's just run the movie. Test movie. Test like this. There, see, because we use the word health there, but not the over there. So so let's go back with my action frames over here. Let's just remove the word health. We'll just want to keep that around. Moves are coming out, so if you want to do that as well, we have in the code. So we'll do a little comment that line out, make a new line. That. And let's just go here, Control S. And you want to go Control, and then see health. I mean, they're much smaller there, so we can't really see it. Bear with me for a second. Oh, yeah. Guys, so yeah, text.health, I do it HELTH. Let's make that a little smaller. See, did I do that right? Text.health. All right, 35. Oh, I can't see it. Okay, 1 second. Oh, press me for 1 second while we can't see that. The word 20 there. Text.health. Oh, I do that right, yeah. But that health.toString is not popping up. Which is why. Okay, that's good. Give me for a second. I'm not sure why we can't get that integer to display. Well, it could be. Good suggestion. Take a look at that. Move that over. That may be the case. If you're on the same layer, I'll explain to you what's going on in a second. What am I missing here? Classic text. It's fine, but I won't ruin that. Where's me? TXT-HELTH. I think I spelled that right. Some things don't work out as well as you plan them to. Text.health.text equals health.toString. That looks kosher to me. Interesting. This is something new for me with Flash. Let's go back over here. Let's take a look at this for a second. And go to classic text. Dynamic. Bear with me for 1 second. Let's see what happens. health. So maybe it was control test movie. So this is something important. Learn something new every day. I've been looking for Flash for the last 2 years. So it has to be a thing called a TLF text over there. And let's figure that one out. If everyone can Google right now, just Google TLF text. I guess that's a text engine as opposed to not. Interesting. Editable, selectable. As opposed to classic text. That's interesting. You used to use dynamic text. Bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, that should work. Dynamic test. I don't know why that's not working. So let me get back to people on that one because that should work. Why classic text should work for dynamic text. So input text, that's something, dynamic text, you can change it. Text health. So we'll just click on that for a second. Use the voice fonts, but that shouldn't change it. Okay, so maybe that warning was right. So here, so on the anti-alias, use device fonts. So it's a little complicated to explain. It's a little kind of difficult to explain, but the device fonts are something that's ready inside Flash. And there's different types of fonts that people use for animation, for doing different things, and they have to be set to use device fonts. But I'll get you a better answer for that one. So let's just keep it device fonts. And let's run it, and there you go, health 20. So there you go, we got that piece going. Okay, so we're going to add that over there. And now we're going to add one more thing to this box over here, in the game loop. Now we're going to do something very interesting. We're going to say if our MC dude, that's our dude jump man. So here we're going to say MC dude if it's called hit test object. Test object, and we're going to say, was it MC box, I think we call it? That's the name of the symbol. And say, if our MC dude, which is the guy that we're jumping, hit test object, that means if that other symbol hits my MC dude, then I'm going to say health minus minus, subtract health minus minus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to update my text box again over here. And then we're going to redisplay that value again. So in the game loop, if my box is off the screen, do that. And if my MC dude hits the box, subtract from health, and redisplay it. So let's just go Control Enter. And what's this? 5, 2, 1. I guess it doesn't like that. So here we go. Let's just make a jump there. Okay, so we'll do it from there. And I guess so key thing over here is, no, not really. So question from is hit text object a function you wrote within the MC dude object? No. So this is a very rudimentary way to test when two symbols collide. That's a good question. So So another question is, why is it decrementing so much on every pass? So the answer is, so this is a very rudimentary way to hit test object to see when two objects collide. It's not meant. So what's happening is that it's actually it's actually going through that loop a few times. I guess the hit test object is actually registering itself a few times. So that is just called the game loop then. Oh, because it keeps on moving. So every time the box moves, we go in the game loop. It's just going to keep on going. So if the test object, it comes back on the game loop and goes around the next, like speed minus X, and it hits the guy again, it's going to keep on doing the health minus minus. Can you slow it down? Yes, I can slow it down. I can hardcode the speed there to 20 and 30. So what's happening is every frame it's moving. So if I'm in the frame before it and it moves up 5 frames, it hits me, then it moves one more frame. The next one hits me again. It's going to keep on. It's going to keep on subtracting from the health over there as well. So we can do is make it faster. We can make it slower. Or we can add some logic. So if it hit already once, within the full game loop, if it hit him once already, then we can just say don't enter the if box over there as well. So in real game systems, they have libraries, they have functions that do much more accurate way of using hit test object. So and every symbol, there's a bunch of functions on symbols, and one of those is called hit test object. And so what it does was, it actually, so you see the box around there. If the blue box around my dude man gets touched by the other box, by the orange box moving, that function's going to, it's going to become true, and you're going to go health minus minus. In a real game scenario, you have ActionScript libraries by game developers who, you will use so that if the box, comes within the blue space, in the blue box of the dude man, but doesn't touch him, it won't become true. So, but this is a very rudimentary way of saving something gets hit. So what we can do is we can put some ActionScript in there to actually make this happen. So we'll do this with we'll call this hit. Then we'll name a Boolean. Call this false. So what we'll do is we can add that over here. We can say hit equals true. And then we say over here, we use the word and. So if he's hit, if the MC2 was hit by a box and he was not hit, and he was like, in other words, hit already, we put an or in front of that. So if the MC2 was hit by the box and he was not hit, and he was not hit, so true, if it's false, he was not hit, then go and do that. So if the hit was true, it wouldn't go in there. So hit him again. So here we go, and then what we'll do over here is we can actually move the hit in front of it, so it won't call the object. So just a little bit. So So just do over here. We can put that in front of this. So in coding world is that operators get operated from left to right. So without calling the function, which makes a little more time, we can just say if hit. Oh, I got too many T's in there. If hit, if not hit. And so we can say, then we can reset it. Equals false over here. So, very funny. So now, when the box is off the screen, we just reset the hit variable. So let's just go over here. There's my control enter return. So here, 19, 18. So I hit them once, and so I jump. Oh, so when he comes back down, he's going to hit again. So in this situation, slow along, see? There you go. So we hit him. Okay, so, it's not the best solution, but it'll fit for our needs. Now, once again, we're actually going to go to our info panel over here, and we're going to put a score on here. Thank you very much. And then, any questions so far? Okay, let's just go back. So what we're going to add now is we're going to add a score. So, we can use a score. Every time he jumps, he gets a score. And so eventually what we're going to do is we're going to do a larger scale. This project next scale is we're going to create an online. We're actually going to, when the game starts, we're going to communicate with our back-end services to get a list of high scores and put them on the screen. So when you go in a video game, you play Star Wars, the games, before you put the quarter in, or now 50 cents, it puts the, names with the high scores going down. And so the goal here is that, part of the lesson is we're going to use PHP, we're going to use Flash to talk with PHP, Flash communicate with PHP script we'll call a database to get back names of people who are high scores and put them on the screen. So at the end of the game, your high score, if you've larger than the high scores that's there, it will then send your name up to the database. And actually put you in the list over there. So that's the goal here, is to record your high score and your name. Common thing that they do. So we're going to go in the info layer, and then we're going to we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to take a little text box, and we're going to draw a text box over here. Another text box over here, and this time we'll do as one of the participants said. So we'll call it text. You can name things however you want to. It's a free world out there, so I liked, naming it like text box score. We'll call this classic text, dynamic text. We'll use device fonts, and we'll make that green. Green's good. Green is money. All right, so let's go Control S. We'll save that. So text.score. So let's go back to code here. Go to my action frame over there, and then once again, as everyone, as everyone can see, let's just go and call this. Let me go my action code over here, and then we're going to keep our variable. I'm going to call that score. Call that int. Of course, he'll be 0. And then we're going to do what one of our participants said is over here. Let's just go. We're going to say text.score is equal to score, and we'll say score.string. Score.toString. And the issue is that we need to make the box a little bigger, probably. So we're using 35. So So here, we clicked on the text.score. Let's just make it a little bigger because we're using a bigger font there. Put it right there, so line it up. Now, FYI, if you want to, align things up, there's alignment tools here. So what we can do is we can click on these two boxes over here. Holding the shift button down and clicking on both of them. And we can go modify, align, until your screen refreshes. And we could, align them left, horizontal, vertical, bottom, distribute width, distribute heights, make same width, make same heights, etc. Line of stage, do all that you want to do. We're going to have a good time. All right, let's just go Control X, and we'll just test the movie out very quickly. Score equals 0. Of course, looks a little nicer over there. Now we're going to put in the first block, if hit, score plus plus. Exactly. Now you're talking, folks. So you're going to say, now we're going to say, every time he passes there, we're going to say score plus plus. And then once again, we're going to use the same thing over here. Control copy. And we're going to say Control V. And then we are going to display the score. Score.string. So someone said if he's not hit, then score plus plus, but we want to reward him, if he passes a full block. So you can do that too. If he's not hit, score. Do whatever you want to. It's a free country. I'll send you my thing. You can modify it and enjoy yourself. Let's just test that out. Oh, there you go. Good point there. And he's not hit. I guess that's it. So, maybe the guy, boy, who was that? Zev had a good point. I guess if he's hit. Okay, yeah, so before it gets false, good point. So if he's not hit, we'll just move that there. And we'll say, score plus plus. Let's just do that over there. But obviously we have to move that. Hold on, let's go Control X. Good point here. Had a long day. Just like this. Good point over there. So we got that. Let's just go like that. Control Enter. There you go. So what's going on here? So he's not hit. Okay, so what's going on here that it's not working? Does anyone have an idea? All right, so going up, yes. So the question is, in this situation, because hit is always set to false, and this time he was hit, he got true, and so it actually avoided the whole block. So let's test that. See, there you go. That was hit. Now if we keep on doing that, 18, 17, 16, just jump this guy over here. Oh, I got him coming down. Oh, there you go. So there you go. Now we can do that now. Now we gotta check for game end now. When your health becomes 0, that's when we got a problem. You currently die. In the game sense, of course. So now what we're gonna go over here is we're gonna add a new scene, and I'm gonna put game over and your score. So so let's go over here. Let's go here. Let's go back to timeline. Over say insert scene. So here we have scene 2. So I did insert scene, and look at that. We got a whole new scene. Everyone follow me on that? And then we can go back and forth between, if you click on your edit scene over here, you'll see I have 2 scenes. So I'm in scene 2 now, and then we can do we can do 2 things. So we're gonna add a couple layers, or 1 layer with game over and your score. So let's just go over here. Let's just add a layer, insert layer, and then 2 things is we have to put a stop there as well, or it's going to go back to the movie to the first scene. So let's just put a quick action frame here, insert keyframe. I did too many keyframes. There was a keyframe there already. So we can say actions. So I click on the I click on the scene, and I say insert actions, and I'll put stuff there. So if you look on my if you look inside on the left hand side, you see current selection is layer 2 frame 1, which we are. So Control S, we saved it. Let's go back to our timeline, and let's just call layer 1 info as an information, and let's just put a little stack text over here. We'll make a stack text over here, and we'll say game over, loser. So let's just we'll do over here is we're going to center them up a little bit. And I like the green for game over loser. Let's just make it like name it yellow. Well, loser. So okay, yellow doesn't come out, so let's change that yellow. Blue, orange. Okay, there you go. We'll use some orange. Loser. So, if we have some text-to-speech, we can play that. There's a text-to-speech library. So let's make that in the middle. Let's just go like this. Where's my paragraph option? Here we go. Let's put that in the middle. And then we can change some other things over there as well. But let's go game over, loser. Make that big, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take another box over here. We'll make another one, and we'll put your score in there. We'll put a box over here. Check in the middle because we have to put, and then we're going to make that so that's TXT, your score. Your score, class of text, dynamic text, use device fonts, etc. Text your score. And then let's go back to scene 1. Let's go back over to the first scene 1 action script. Answer is yes. Are all global and local variable in Flash? Yes, you can access them on all different screens. They're global. Let me get my action frame over here. So over here, we're going to say if your health is less than or equal to 0. We're going to do a few different things over here, but the last thing we're going to do is going to say go to and stop in frame 1 of scene 2. Because that's the name of our scene 2. We can actually rename scene 2 if you want to. But what we're going to do is we're going to remove these add listeners because we don't need them anymore. So every time you don't need something, you get rid of them. So let's put them right in the code over here. But instead of saying add listener, we're going to say remove listener. Remove listener. And say remove listener. Remove the jump and game loop listeners and say go to and stop game 1 scene 2. If everyone got that? And then right over there, hold on, let's go like this. So we're gonna go to game scene 2, and then we're gonna do over there is let's go to our scene 2 over here. You need to remove you need to remove listeners. And you can leave them on there, but what's gonna happen is they're gonna keep on going in the background in your stage. You're gonna kill your processing power. So you remove the event listener for entering frame and the jump thing. So if you don't need them, get rid of them. So let's just go to scene 2. And we're going to say stop, and then we're going to say text. What was I used again? Texture score. Let's copy that. Come on, we're going to go, where'd that go again? Timeline, go to actions. I want to say texture score. Dot text is equal to what's that? Score dot to string. So what's the score? Score dot to string. Okay, so we got that piece. So let's just go here. Where's my scene 2. So stop, and we're going to display in my texture score. Texture score dot text equals score to text. But we have to do this. We're going to use this. We're going to say your score. There we go. We'll control S. Check it out now. Oh, what happened over here? Something happened over here. Copy method, no object reference. That doesn't look too good, does it? So we got our first error. Check access a property or method of a null object to a reference. Type error. It's a good question. Let's just go back to our text over here. Main timeline and game loop. Doesn't like something here. Let's go to our code. So something in the game loop. So health is 20, health is 0. We move jump in game loop. You don't need to make score global. We sort of do because we need to have it in the other frame over there, so we get this, so we can see it. Um, but what's going on here? That I got that error. Oh, maybe it's go to and stop one. Let me see if that's it. See, did I spell CN2 right? CN2. That sounds right. So, what do you think happened, ladies and gentlemen, that we're getting this problem? Anyone make a guess here? I don't know. Flash sometimes doesn't have the best debugger tools. Try that again. See what's going on here. So it's actually running right into code. Let's see what it says over here. There is a debugger in Flash, and we can use it. Text is a property or method of a null object reference. That's skateboard, alpha lane, main timeline, game loop. Maybe it's scene 2. So here. So I think this may be the issue over here. Let's go to no, that's right. Score dot to string. Score 0. Echo stops in there. And scene 2. There's something that not being initialized. Let's see now. It doesn't give you line numbers. Debug. So let's just go to debugger the first time. Let's just take a look. What's going on here? Text dot score. So we put score dot to string. So everything looks like it's being registered fine. So if hit score plus plus, score is equal to 0. It goes in there. So only thing we added was these 2 lines over here. And go to and stop was the one in scene 2. So let's actually run the debugger. Let's first check this little, so let's check syntax. Okay, we're clean. Let's see, maybe we're missing something here. Scene, frame 1. Scene, no, that's right. So if you look on the help over there, on that thing over there, you'll see that go to and stop was frame 1. And scene string null. Fine, so it's a frame object, so that may be an issue. That needs to be an object, but I don't think it's the case. That always worked in the past. Go to and stop 1. Let's just try something else here. Let's just uncomment the code. Let's see what happens. Still the problem. So there's always the way how to debug very quickly is that you comment pieces of your code out. So what's happening is I think we added something to our stage that wasn't really initialized. So let's try it again. Okay, that's not the problem. So let's just go over here. Let's use our debugger. So what we do is we put a, oh, that's not it. So you put a line there and you click on the 24. So I take my right mouse button there. Yes, we're going to step the code right now. We click on the bottom number over there. And we're going to go debug, debug movie, like I said. So debug movie, Control Shift Enter. Attempting to launch Connect Player, so we launched in there, so we got there. And then where's our tools over here? So debug console on the top of it, we're going to step over. So MC box that caused, see, cannot access a property or method of a null object reference. So MC box.x, so that may not be, something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with MC box.x. Oh no, object that didn't get displayed. So let's actually stop our box over here and debug session. Let's just take a look at our box for a second. Let me move this down. Let's go 100%. MC box. So that's on the main stage. Let's see why it's happening. MC box movie class number 1. So it gets on that stage. So why is it not doing that? These are good questions. I just did this in my free time. So MC box should have been on the stage prior to that. Let me try something. So we're going to move these events to the bottom because MC dude should be registering itself. I'll explain to you what I'll do in a second. May not help. So what's happening is that in the action script layer, is that box is not being registered prior to that loop. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's a good question. Why that box is not active? It's on our main stage, and it's called MC box movie clip. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's on our main stage. So I can't really answer that question right now. And why did this problem not show up until now? Good question is because I'm doing this by just a bunch of note cards here. That's interesting. I don't know why. Yeah, box shows up in stage 1 on the action frame. Something new. Let's try this in another version of Flash. This is MC box. So pretty much we put the box here we're in the main stage. So that should be set from the get-go. So it actually is registered. So I'm not exactly sure what that's talking about there. That's causing that problem. So give me a second to think about this. MC box speed. Let's see if we can force it to register itself. No, it's still crashing over there. That's odd. I can't give you the answer to that one. MC box. Did we miss that? We didn't place the MC box. Variable launch during debug. That's a good point. Let's do that. We do debug. Debug mode. So let's take a look at scene symbol. Let's just go. Hold on. Let's just see debug. Let's see this. Excuse me. Tall stack. I've not played with Flash, this new version of Flash. But let's just do it. Should we get a variable in there? We should have a variable in there. Let's go like that. Bear with me for a second. So debug. So MC box object reference. That's a good question. Can't answer that one right now. MC box. Okay, so I can't answer that question one right now because that's so usually when you leave an object on the stage, it's actually registered within the Flash container. So the stage, can you check empty box during run? Can you so the issue is that the stage is not yet set up yet. So but that's on. The stage is always set up from the get-go. So once it goes into the game loop, anything you put on the stage, in these situations, it actually is registered already in Flash, as we saw as we were doing something. So the code we added was another scene. We added another scene to the thing over here, but the question is, I mean, that wouldn't really affect. Something's affecting the registration point of that particular object. So it's going in the game loop from the get-go. Let's try this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment the game loop over there, and I'm going to set the box manually over there and see if it's registered there. This is odd for behavior in Flash. 500. So it stopped there, but it's not even. Hold on. Go to a stop one, move left. Go to my timeline to make sure that I have a stop there. Oh, let's check that again. Ah, I think that's it. Just look. Hold on. Tighten this a quick second. What's going on there? Because I don't review stuff before that happens. Okay, so so one second. So let's put things back to normal. Okay, I'll tell you what's happening because I don't do these things before I have class. I'm sorry about that. Okay, hold on. Let's just get, so here we go. Let's just, hold on. Let me make it a little smaller here so we can make it 4. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just watch him go 3, 2. Let's see, we got 1 on the score, so we got to use 1 point. So we go health 1, and then 0, game over, lose you, and you score 1. We got another error. I'll explain to you what's going on. Can access the property method and all object and reference. Okay, so I'll tell you what's going on, and we'll figure that one out. So what was happening is that as we go back to the scenes in Flash, the timeline goes. So if you don't put a stop in the first scene, it will go to the next scene. So as Flash is, it plays every scene, and it's like everything happens in the background. So all scenes will play. Any movie clip you have in the first scene will keep on playing. Like if I didn't put a stop button in the dude over here. Where's my dude? Let me find my dude here. Dude code. Where's my? Yeah, if I didn't put a. Let me just put my timeline over here. So in my dude code, if I didn't put a stop over here, a little action script over there. Let's go to action. If I didn't put a stop there, it will actually play the guy going up and down continuously. Because in Flash, it will just keep on going in the timeline. When the timeline finishes, so there's only one frame in the first scene. Once they finish the frame over there, it will go to scene 2. And so what's happening is that it was going to something in scene 2 is actually triggering of some registration point of something not working like we saw. So we got that going there, but the question is, what's happening now in scene 2? We have a problem here. We have something. So we have a stop button over there. We have something going there. We put text underscore dot underscore goes score dot to string. So we're actually, we're actually missing something over here. Let me just check my notes quickly. What I put there. Did I miss anything? So we remove the event list, which we're key thing. So let's actually test that again. Let's put a breakpoint there. Let's see what's going on. Debug movie. So which one was that one over there? Move that breakpoint by clicking on it, and let's go play. Let's find that. So it's going to flash the movie. So it puts it over there. Text your score. String. Ooh. I know the problem. There you go. I didn't really. So I didn't put a stop at the end over there as well. I should have stopped the thing over there. So why does it keep on going? So what's happening is that somehow we're not closing down the dude. Like if you notice in the debugger, what was happening is that you put a stop there, but somehow we get to our code over here. We put a code over here. It was still working on that. It was still working on that game loop. So stage remove event listener. We move event listener event enter frame game loop. So what's happening was we moved the event listener, and it should have stopped that loop over there. But somehow it didn't stop that loop. So let's go to stop 1. So we went to the scene, but somehow it didn't remove the event listener. It should have stopped. That's interesting. It didn't. Interesting. It should have just exited. So that's interesting. Go to and stop. So what's happening is that after health equals 0, I removed the event listener, which is the event enter frame game loop. Should have stopped it. Should have taken out the game loop from the event loop, and it would just go to and stop on scene 1. But somehow it didn't remove the event listener, and it went back up to the game loop, and we saw what happened. Oh, gotcha. So this is key. thing over here. That's interesting why this is happening. Now, let's just be smart about it, because I don't think sometimes. It's been a long day for me. Let's just put that over here and hit. As soon as he gets hit, let's do that. So, interesting enough, the reason why that was happening is that in this part of the function, over there, it went to go in scene 1, but it had to finish the function off. Like I should have told it to exit the function, but here, as I got hit, health less than 0, go to and stop, it'll go to that scene, but keep on playing until the whole game loop function is over. So we could have told it to exit. Let's try now. Here it'll work now. Here we go. Here, 3. Let's just watch our output. 2. There you go. Game over. So a lesson for everyone is that I had the code over here in the module. I had it over here. So what was happening is my health was less than or equal to 0 at some point, and I said stage remove event, stage remove event, and we moved it. I guess we moved it for the next time one around. So it went to go and stop 1. So since Flash plays everything, it went to go and stop 1, but it exited the if statement and actually went to the MC hit test object. So let me just show you that. So it's good that I make mistakes so we can learn. Headed over here. So as soon as it went health less than 0, it's a stage event, remove listener, move the event listener. What it does was it moves it from the next time it goes around, but it still has to finish the function. So it went go to and stop 1. So Flash went to the next scene, and then the function still needs to finish up. So it went down to this function over here, and since MC Dude was not registered anymore on the stage, it actually threw a exception, which happened over there. So this is why we just take this over here at the end of the function. And we say this. We could have put it over after the if statement too. We could have put it over here. We can put it over there as well. So let's put that as well. Okay, I'll go on to that question in a second. So scene 1, health 1, and then here we go. Game over, loser. Yeah, your score is 0. So no, it question. So after it goes to scene 2, it comes back and finishes game 1. Why does go and stop? What does go to and stop mean? Not go there and don't come back. Okay, so one question. So we told it to go to and stop in scene 1. So it's going to go to scene 1, frame 1, and stop. So go to the next scene and stop in frame 1, and I think there's a go to and play. Yeah, I'll send it out as soon as tonight. That's why I didn't start too late over there. So I just want to tune it up a little bit before sending it out, but I'll send it out this evening. So it's lucky I don't do these things beforehand. Then it's the mistakes I make in every debugging it. You're always going to kill yourself in a debug situation. It's always difficult. So I'm going to move this back into here. Does it make sense to exercise that right away? So there you go. So what time is it? 8:57. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a fun page. So what we're going to do is the next lesson is we're going to add a scene on top of this one, previous scene, and it'll have a little start button and same principle. We'll list a bunch of we'll just put a start button there. And we'll go to this next scene to play, and then what we'll see is we'll get a list of high scores on there. And the list of high scores are going to come from our back-end services. And the services we're using, basic PHP for communication. On the server side, a little database to hold the score, a very simple database table, and we'll say, we'll actually start PHP next week. And it's pretty simple. So the easy PHP thing is a full web server with built-in PHP, with built-in database stuff, with built-in everything you need to get this going. And you'll see that, PHP is just as simple as this ActionScript stuff, once you understand that as well. So review here. So the key thing is you both have both files. You have the file from before and the file afterwards, so you can see the differences here. We did well. So let's just go to the timeline. Let's just go down here for a second. Yeah, it gets so small. 50%. So here we added a layer called info, and we added a bunch of dynamic text boxes over here, so we can keep track of the health and score. So every time the box hits the guy, his health goes lower, and if the box doesn't hit him, his score goes higher. Every time the box goes over, every time he goes over the box, he gets a score plus plus. And so if he hits the box, his health goes to 0. Let's just look at the actions for that one. So we added health and score and the hit, so he doesn't keep on getting hit. We added a thing called a stop in frame 1, so the movie doesn't keep on going. It stops right in the frame 1 until we tell it to move to the next frame when it loses. So we added the dynamic text box, and we call it. And then we want to add text to it. Just simple going text health.text equals health.toString. Just mind you is that it's pretty cool. But you can do some cool. Let's say for example, you can do some HTML, and you call HTML text. Oh, yeah, okay, very funny. So there's a thing called HTML text, and you can actually have HTML wrapped in text from your server side, and it will display it different ways you want to. So think about it, CMS type thing is that you can be sending it, HTML text to make it do different things. So the answer is, someone asked a question, can Flash create sophisticated images, not just stickmen? Very funny. Yes, I created a bunch of things over here. So if everyone goes to, I'll show you some stuff I did in Flash. That was like 2 years ago. Let me see if I can launch Flash in my browser, and I'll tell you where to go to. Hold on. So I'll type in something. You guys go to here, www.doogles. It's not hosted anymore. Let me see. Type in that website on your computer. Yeah, I know. Let me see. Type in Doogles, and you'll see some cool Flash there. If I took it down or not. May have lost the website. Type in Doogles. Did anyone get that website? Oh, did I lose it? Did you get it? Oh, Doogles. Where can I find it? Oh, there you go. Okay, so here's some stuff I did with a preloader. Put your volume up. So it's like you're taking a picture, dog runs away, blah, blah, blah. And so, my volume's not up. Dog walks away, and I'm chasing my dog. Have you seen my Doogles? So, in brief, you can do a lot of anything with Flash. If you guys want, I can send you this project if you want. So if you want the project, just let me know. I'll send it to you. A lot of stuff in there. So yeah, you can do a lot of different things with Flash. I mean, Flash is very powerful. You can make your graphics in Fireworks or Illustrator, export them as vectorized graphics, and any game that you play, like a mini clip or other things, all made by Flash. So any game in Flash right now, you can actually export them to an iPhone or a Droid. That's the beauty of this Flash right now. And so, you know, you can realize that games are made all in Flash. You'll see whenever you run something in Flash, you do a right mouse button click and you see it says Adobe Flash. So that's the story there. And this concludes the session. Any questions before we go? Yeah, sorry about the mistakes here, but I think the mistakes added some good feedback of what's going on. I think that was, I think that was key, because I never know what I'm doing half the time. Any other questions before we go? I'll send you that stuff tonight. What else? We had a new scene to the movie, and we told it to go and stop. And key things over here I haven't done Flash in about a year and a half, but the stops are very important. What else? And then scene 2 we added. Let's go to scene 2 over here. Click on that, scene 2. And there's the I lost my scene. Oh, hold on. Oh, let's put that down there. So here in scene 2, we added, stop and put your text over there and game you loser. Key thing, we can get a simple action script library. This is actually cool. That actually does text to words, and we can make it speak to you as well. So that's the story. Next one we're going to add a scene, start a game. Maybe I'll just put it in there so we can start from PHP from the get-go. So I'll add the first scene with the start of game, and then the next class we'll start with PHP database stuff, and you'll see how easy that is. All right, thank you very much. I got to eat some dinner. Good evening, good Shabbos, etc., etc., etc. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.